And let's see, I have other things that we use. There's instruments called trembles and some other things to actually record the data. I use a Dell Axum, and this is an X51V. It's the latest model. It's light. It fits in the pocket. It's real easy to use, and I enjoy using that. But there are different kinds of instruments out there, and boy, they're expensive. And of course, here's how it's the cradle to recharge. And then here's your point center stakes to put in, as was already described. And we like to paint the point center. Then in case a deer or an elk comes by later in the day, and this actually happens, they'll chew the flag, they'll pull it up out of the ground. So if you paint it, you have a semi-permanent place where the point was. And of course, once you're done for the day, you want to copy your work and transfer it to a file. And let's see, we have our compass. And you want to get a compass like a Silva Ranger that you can set in declination. And here's the little screwdriver. There's true north and there's magnetic north. And you need true north. So you use the screwdriver and you can dial in the deviation from magnetic to true north. And so that's why I use a little more expensive compass that does that. And we paint where diameter is, sometimes on a tree or some other things. Markers, we call them crayons. Batteries, got to have spare batteries. Here's the flagging we use. This is biodegradable yellow flagging. There's different kinds. There's orange and blue and different colors. And there's different types. There's vinyl types flagging. This is the bio flagging. It's made out of paper, actually. And then here's the point centers. You put that in the point center and you mark on the location, the compartment, the stand, and the point. And I carry a first aid kit and tape and spare. This is a spare stylus and rubber bands and markers and pencils. There's a hand warmer when it's cold out. And let's see, and here's the tape measure, just a regular old tape measure. When you measure diameters, which we did with the D-tape, you have to go at 4.5 feet. That's what's called DBH, diameter at breast height. So this check, I just use this to check myself once or twice during the day to make sure I'm actually still at DBH. And bear spray, some years ago the Forest Service sold some land in valleys and draws to private. And so private a lot of times, which adjoins national forest land, has dogs that run loose, and sometimes they're mean. Some of them sometimes. So I take this with me. Plus there's mountain lions. We call them cats. And I've had ones that just sat there and crouched down and observed me. So I carry bear spray for protection. Naturopel, we don't have problem with mosquitoes, but we do with flies. When you're just standing there working, I might be at a point for 45 minutes, and the flies will get you. And let's see, I have, this is a cleaning kit, like a .22 rifle. I use is the same pad fits in a .22 rifle that fits in my increment bore. And the bore gets pitch in it throughout the day. So I have to clean it periodically. Here's a vest. Here's a brand new one that's a spare. Comes from forestry suppliers. And I've gotten all my equipment through the years from forestry suppliers, and they've got all my money. But they're great people. I would recommend using them, but there are other entities out there, other companies. Here's my hat. Black Hills Technical Forestry, that's the name of my company in Spearfish. Tatum, which I used to carry all my paperwork, and I put little cheat sheets in there to help me remember if I forget, which I usually don't, but fuel models and fixed plot and correcting for slope and so forth. And anyway, and explanations of the BAF, different BAFs and the prisms. Here's the placard I use. And this is required right here. The district you're on will require this to put in your pickup so they know who you are. And it's just a placard I made up so they know who I am also. And here's a worksheet that I use. I put it in my Tatum, and I take a lot of notes because you have to have setting remarks and plot remarks. So I keep that in my Tatum. I like to use regular hard copy maps, topo maps. A lot of people use a Venza program, put it on their tablet or such. I like to use a hard copy because I can see a broad spectrum of the area, and I don't have to worry about battery life. Batteries might not last 10 hours. Pens and pencils and so forth, and spare parts for the logger tape. Anyway, that's pretty much the equipment used. I do thank you for checking out my video.